Ladies and gentlemen, it's amazing how impressive the challenge can truly look like on the optic scale, from both a strategic standpoint, from a social aspect, and just from a social experiment standpoint. It's amazing how great the game can be when you take away all of the added twists. You strip it down, make it an individual game, and you take away the damn skulls, coach. It's amazing how good the game can play out when the skulls are no longer involved, isn't it? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the critically acclaimed The Pop the Trunk podcast, now Patreon exclusively sponsored Hall of Fame. Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. With me, of course, is your humble host, Dave Smith, Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game Ultra, Smid Dog Trio, The Rant God, Hotep Thanos, Throne Thanos, Metro Kaiba, the Pro Black Prodigy, the Shaman of the Shadow Realm, all of the above on that ISET test, and ACT, here to bring balance back to the Challenge All Stars. You know what it is. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to go ahead and give you all my thoughts on the premiere of Challenge All Stars exclusively on Paramount Plus. I gotta give CBS All Access, Viacom, I gotta give them credit. If you're going to rebrand yourselves and come up with an entirely different name, it's like Denzel Washington said on American Gangster, right? You got to change the name to Blue Magic, all right? And I'm going to be honest with you, y'all have struck magic with this show. Not only is the strategy old school, the players are old school, but they are kind of forced to play a new school type game. The rules of the game are still old school, even though it's incentivized to play new school to master the old school setting. This is the perfect balance of both, in my opinion, of both eras. If Big Brother's problem is that they have this new school era and this old school era that always clash from a philosophical standpoint, I personally believe the challenge has struck gold with this specific season because it's a mixture of both in the perfect way. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, no longer do you have gold skulls. Now it's all about, okay, we're going to have two teams. You're going to decide on who the captain's going to be each episode. And depending on who's the captain, that person gets the glory or the agony. Either you get a Lifesavers ability, which allows you to keep a certain player safe, which could stifle and stymie the entire house's gameplay if they wanted to pile on someone like they did in this episode with Ace. Or if you were to lose said comp as captain, you would automatically be thrown in. I like that, because that incentivizes accountability from the start, ladies and gentlemen. It makes it so you cannot play a cowardice-based game and make it to the end that way. Eventually, you're going to be held accountable, and people are going to want you to be a captain because it's your turn, because they know the risk that comes with it. It's not the same as in Challenge 36 when people can just rely on that team comp, become double agent, and they're safe the rest of the week. Their game is still in harm's way depending on how they utilize the Lifesaver twist. So I'm liking everything about this. I'm loving this cast. I'm loving the diversity within this cast. I forgot how much I missed Kellyanne. Because Kellyanne is one of the few players on this cast, outside of the obvious of a Darrell and an Anissa, that I really remember, right? Because Kellyanne was part of those seasons when Corey was first getting into the groove on the challenge. So I remember Kellyanne very well. I remember being a fan of her very well. So it's really dope to see her back. It's really dope to see Cyrus, Alton. I mean, we're seeing a lot of Black Kings, man. It's really dope. And the fact that Nani isn't on this season, that was a W as soon as I didn't see her face. I said to myself, okay, well, she screwed over Anissa in 36, but at least they didn't bring her to this. You know what I'm saying? At least they gave Anissa something. And that makes me beckon another question, ladies and gentlemen. Hot take. Y'all know I bring the conspiracies to you. Do you think there is any way that Darrell and Anissa could be Apex Productions pets from the simple fact that they have been working with production compared to the rest of the cast up until this point? I think Anissa and Darrell are in a great spot because if you pay attention, it seemed like Darrell and Anissa, they're in the CT spot now. They're in a rare spot where black people aren't often gifted. All right, I'm not trying to make this about raising it. I'm just saying I'm being honest here. They both look like production pets by proxy that are production members themselves because if you pay attention to Ace tonight, oh man, Ace. Oh man. Ace, if I can give y'all one thing that's kind of a comparison to Big Brother, it's the fact that Ace, he stumbled over himself in this game because he expected an old school gameplay. So if there's one thing that I will say is similar to Big Brother in a sense is that, okay, you had the old school versus new school clash with this type of situation. You had LT and Latarian who approaches Cyrus because clearly his team lost. I mean, I want to get into the team comp, but I really want to explain the strategy here behind why the episode is called You're All Monsters. It's entitled that, ladies and gentlemen, because Ace was super butthurt by the gameplay. He was super butthurt. They literally blindsided this guy. I mean, they always in the meeting, they was at one of them deliberation meetings, the ones that they'll do on the challenge in recent years all the time. You can tell Ace ain't been watching lately, because for whatever reason, he didn't expect the team to discuss things before they voted on who they was throwing in. He thought it was absolutely preposterous for them all to unanimously just vote him in. He was like, oh, you're all just monsters. How could you do this to me? You had your minds made up before you even said anything. I can't stand you all. And then he goes in confessional and said, they went after me because they knew I wouldn't make that much of a fuss about it after the fact. It's like, damn, bro, you're kind of justifying why they did it by admitting you ain't gonna do shit about it. And that's when I didn't really feel sorry for you in this episode, Ace. Because LT at least felt like he wanted to be there to prove something. LT had it built into his storyline that his last challenge he lost, so he coming back for the clapback. You like edits like that. And to be fair, you can tell production was taking Ace's side because Ace is talking about, if I win the $500,000, I'm just going to give it away to charity. I just want to improve the world. He was trying his best to tell production, rig this shit for me. I'm CT. You know what I'm saying? Ace, I got to keep it funky with you, dog. You look like Andrew Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for you to say, Carl. Hey, Carl. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. You look just like Rick Grimes, coach. I couldn't help myself. When I'm watching this episode, I'm like, yo, why is Rick Grimes this salty right now? You know what I mean? And I guess that makes Cyrus Negan. I don't know. But Darrell was clowning your ass. But let's get to the team comp, though. The team comp was very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said, you had to agree on a captain. Then that captain got to pick a lieutenant of some sorts, or a co-captain, if you will. The sister, I don't want to get her name wrong. I got all the names written down. I'm going to make sure I get this right. Gisela. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know the Gisela story, but this lady is thick as hell, coach. I'm watching this team comp, and I started sweating in the living room. I'm going to keep it all the way funky. Damn. She's bringing it. That's all I got to say. And she was one of the few people who got 2 bricks in that comp. Shout outs to Tech for mentioning that, by the way. And I think Tech is going to be a very interesting character in this season as well, because his confessionals is hilarious, yo. His confessionals is hilarious. But so they were pretty much the captain and co-captain of their team, but their team appeared to be the weakest on paper. That's what made the team comp in the premiere so interesting, because you got all these older folks on the AARP side of the game dropping like flies, coach. You know what I'm saying? It's like all they got to do is jump in some decently cold water, swim to the bottom, and pick something up. As people who have been watching Challenge in recent years, that's a simple comp. That's a low-budget comp to us. But to them who's been out of the game for so long, that's enough to make you hold your lower back a little bit afterwards. So you kind of felt for them. But Tech was cracking a lot of dope jokes. I feel like Big Easy is gonna be a confessional king as well. I'm peeping his comedic timing. He's really doing it. He was like, man, these guys look amazing. We look like the Bad News Bears. Definitely I caught that line. That was a good line, coach. I'm really liking the personalities. I'm seeing people, and see what made me want to watch this episode so fast was because I'm looking on social media. Everyone's going crazy about how great this is. I'm like, there's no way it's this good. Understand, I'm coming into this skeptical, expecting the worst, hoping for the best type stuff. And I'm not going to stunt with y'all. This is I think this is an instant classic in the making here. I'm being honest with you. Because it's, I think it was Ashley who said this on Twitter. She said it's amazing how more entertaining a show can be when you have more entertainers and less athletes. And I was like, that's a great point there, right? These people are photogenic. When they get in front of a camera and it starts rolling, they know exactly what to say. They probably don't even have to be led into saying what production wants. Like, these people are pros. And I think that's why it feels so genuine when you watch it. When you see these confessionals kick in and they throw in like subtle shades at people. Darrell was shitting on Ace in the cut, you know what I'm saying, in the preview or whatever's coming in the future. It looked like Alton might beef with Cyrus. Ooh, that's some Dark Side versus Thanos type shit popping off. I'm just saying, man, this season is looking really dope, coach. It's looking really dope. Beth, of course, is still thirsty for Nehemiah. She still calls him. She called him some nickname. I wasn't really too fond of it. It was giving me Beth PTSD from BBK and 9. So I was trying my best to, you know what I'm saying, just keep it moving with that. But yeah, but I was really shocked that LT didn't listen more carefully to Nehemiah during this episode. I feel like LT, number one, Nehemiah tried to tell him, hey man, he basically tried to explain to him, you got to get your social game up to a level, because I think he was trying to tell LT, bro, you're basically on the bottom here. And I guess LT feels like from a physical standpoint, can't nobody really G-check him and send him on a first-class ticket to the Shadow Realm. So he don't really care about no damn social game. To an extent, I respect that. If you feel like you a square peg going into a round hole, I kind of respect that to a degree. But I really look at Nehemiah as a forbidden jitsu this season. He seems to be cool with everybody. He got the white girls going crazy. I mean, they calling him Tenderoni. I mean, like, what is, like, this dude has pregame strategy. He was piping these chicks down before this season to get a pregame deal. What is you doing, bro? Now, I know he was with her in the previous season. I'm joking here. I'm being facetious. I don't want people in the comments saying, oh, yeah, you don't know what I'm joking here. But my point is, at the end of the day, I think his social game is going to be fantastic on a season like this, especially since it appears that he seems to be very close to Cyrus himself, right? I think these guys have a nice alliance, and it appears he played a season with Mark in the past. They mentioned that in the premiere episode, so he's going to also be very good with Mark. I think Nehemiah is almost a pencil in for the finale based off how he's set up on the first episode socially. Now, once again, there is a lot of ways where things can go wrong for a black player on an MTV show. I'm aware of that, but this Paramount Plus, things can change. You know what I'm saying? A rebrand, coach. It's a rebrand. You know what I mean? Not forbidden jitsu. You feel it, dig me? The dual flashback. Oh, okay. Yep. Jimmy, by the way, I thought she was also a great addition to this cast. It seemed like Jimmy gonna do some swirling later on. I don't know who that was with. I don't know if that was Mr. Tenderoni himself or if that was Alton by any. No, it can't be Alton. I don't know. I think he married any. I don't know. But at the end of the day, she was with somebody in that bed getting it cracking, coach. You know what I'm saying? So her social game is gonna be arguably in the closest. She's going to have the closest social game to its prime, next to maybe an Anissa. And shout outs to Anissa, by the way. During the team comp, she purposely did not want that captain responsibility because she knew it wouldn't be worth it. I believe she was on that strong team that ended up throwing it to LT anyway, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe, yeah, I think she was on that team. No. She was on the winning team. She was on the winning team, which people thought was the weakest because she was at that meeting. That's right. But then again, I think that was all the players put together, though, that was at that meeting. That wasn't necessarily. I think LT was the only one who wasn't there. Well, y'all got to give me episodes before I understand the logistics of this. You know what I'm saying? We're new to this. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's low-key risky just doing a live stream right after watching it. But y'all know me. I got the courage of my convictions to just talk that hot stuff. And y'all know we still got the Incredible Hulk on deck. It's lit. By the way, this guy, yes, I got to talk about this guy. This guy is giving me Yul Kwan vibes. Where did they find this guy? This guy is the Peter Parker of the challenge. Like, seriously. This dude is a mathlete. He makes every physical comp look easy. Like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? I was watching this guy tonight. I'm like, yo. And did you notice how Darrell real subtly threw an extra target on top of Buddy? Even though Buddy helped Darrell's team win today, He went out of his way to say, yeah, man, the mathlete, he's super good. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe everybody on that cast don't know he a mathlete. Maybe he's telling everybody socially he is one. He's telling us through confessional, but that could just be something he's sharing with the audience. My point is, Darrell is real strategic. I think he learned from Leroy's betrayal. That's my point here. Darrell getting cutthroat now. You know what I'm saying? He taking that CT and he's applying it to Yes, because I think he can see that Yes might be his biggest threat to win this game. Yes is going to be a forbidden jitsu his damn self. I'm keeping it real in these streets. Now, if you get him in a pole wrestling contest or something, you might pull that out. But if it's anything that involves number crunching, puzzles, the whole nine, I wouldn't want to risk it against no Yes. Hell no. I'm cool. That dude is a problem. And that's facts, though. There was a lot of bloopers that happened during the comp as well. A lot of people picked up the wrong color piece. Some people picked up bronze when they needed silver. I thought that was funny. A lot of comedy in this episode. Tech called it recess at the old folks' home when everybody quit in the water. He said the medics in wheelchairs came out. That stuff was funny, yo. It was hilarious. But because it was a men's elimination week, of course, and see, this is why I want to talk about Arissa. Now, I don't really know Arissa's past, ladies and gentlemen, but I thought she had a horrific episode. From a strategic standpoint, I think both physically and socially, she managed to just nuke her game tonight. Did y'all see what she did today? Not only did Arissa basically ask for a medevac and just freeze up in kind of borderline seizure in the water, but then after that, she was the only person who was hesitating to throw Ace under the bus. Arissa, sister, why are you sticking your neck out for Ace? Why are you sticking your neck out for Walking Dead? Why are you sticking your neck out for Andrew Lincoln, coach? You know what I'm saying? Do you got a crush on Rick Grimes, coach? Why would you do that, sister? You already appear weak to your team, or a weak to the house based on how you performed for your team. Why would you stick your neck out even further by making yourself into a bigger target by trying to support a guy who clearly has no support amongst the entire cast? Why would you do that to yourself? And did you notice how in the preview the next of the future episodes or whatever, it appears Arissa flips people off Devon style? So in my opinion, Arissa is on the bottom as much as Ace was, and maybe she acknowledged that and she felt bad for him. But even Ace told her, hey man, don't vote for me. No, go. I mean, no, he did tell her to vote for him. He said, don't vote for someone else because that isn't good for your game. And Arissa should have discerned that was bad for her game before he even said that, to be honest with you. But see, that tells me based off her flipping people off in the future that she's going to have a hard time this season, coach. And I think this first episode put her on a terrible trajectory. But she put herself in both positions. Now, you can argue the first time with the seizure, that's out of her control. Her body just did not react chemically to that colder temperature water. I can meet her halfway there. It is a black woman, right? But then when you add what she did in that meeting, she should have known better, right? And then you got Ace. I got to talk about Ace. He seemed so perplexed by the idea that the team would come together and talk about the vote before they do it. He was like, hey, guys, why are we even doing this? You know, why are we even doing this? And it was like almost as if Anissa had to play the role of production and said, production don't have to be here for us to discuss the vote. Just letting you all know. You know, I hope I don't have to say this again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, it was like Anissa was the teacher in the classroom or something right there. It's like, what is going on here? Y'all signed up for Challenge All Stars and y'all didn't think y'all would have to deliberate? Ace, what did you sign up to do? Sounds like to me you signed up to be the damn first boot. Exposed. You finna dig me. I'm just being honest. I agree, Whitney. Arissa, I don't understand what she's doing in this game. I really don't understand. You know? And honestly, it's a lot of brothers that look like they have a chance to win. There's not that many sisters that look like they have a chance to win. So I feel like Arissa is already just off to the wrong start personally. But it's going to be interesting to watch her very closely because if she somehow makes it far, despite starting off so terribly, that's going to be either someone else realizing that that's someone we need to be in the final next to. Maybe she gets big T'd and dragged. Or maybe she gets taken out fairly soon. Who knows? But yeah, that's another thing I noticed. Arissa, I really don't understand your gameplay miss. You know what I'm saying? You got to step it up, coach. You know, you got all these people out here. I mean, you got Gisela out here looking like, you know what I'm saying, the star player. You know what I'm saying? She looking like Maya Moore out here, coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to be Skylar Diggins or nothing. I'm just saying hold your weight. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You know, damn. But yeah, so I want to get into answering some of y'all questions, though. If y'all watched the episode, what is your thoughts on this season? Are you excited for this season, ladies and gentlemen? Because it's just one episode, we don't have much to go off of. Ace was, of course, sent to the Shadow Realm by Latarian, by LT. You know, I feel like this is poetic justice from the simple fact that LT, her life was cut short within Big Brother Can 9. So now we get a different LT be able to exact some type of clapback revenge in his own way on Ace when it comes to challenge All Stars. It's poetic in a subtle way. In a subtle way. Oh, Vonnie, you saw All Stars? That's what's up. Whitney says, Arista said she was Zen now in the confessionals, but we saw she was cussing out people in the previews. That's the. I'm saying no. I think a lot of these people trying to put their best foot forward, like, I've changed. I'm born again. Whole time you put them pressure burst pipes, bro. Burst pipes, bro. At the end of the day, when you put them under pressure, all of a sudden they gonna show you who they really are, because they gonna forget who they was trying to act to be. You know what I mean? Facts. I still haven't watched last night's Double Agent episode yet. Oh, okay, Miss Selena. Well, to be honest with you, compared to that All Stars episode, I don't blame you. Because, see, here's the thing. I feel like 36 should have ended their season before they showed this on Paramount Plus. Because now I have less incentive to really care about what's being aired on Wednesdays. I have less incentive. Y'all just gave me a hit of some of the best loud pack in the entire state. And now you're trying to tell me there's no more. It's a drought. It's like, no, bruh. Wait, nah, there's more. You feel it, dig me? There's more. You know, this all-star stuff right here, that loud pack, that 36 feeling like that Reggie now. It's unfortunate, but by comparison, the energy is different. Now, granted, you could argue, based on the way everyone ganged up on Ace, this could be more of the same, Dave. Hold up. Maybe I do want to be devil's advocate here, ladies and gentlemen, and throw that out there. The way this majority alliance all seem to all agree on Ace, that did seem very reminiscent of 36 at the beginning when we all were very optimistic, no? All I'm saying is, let's not be too ahead of ourselves, but at the same time, this has that potential. Better potential that I saw from 36 in the first episode, for sure. Because you have a lot of different players with built-in storylines already that all want redemption for different reasons. I just think this is set up to be gold. Double Agent seasons is too long. That's another point, Whitney. It is too long. And see, I just signed up for that commercial-free P+, Joan. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here watching the episode, and I'm like, yo, this is lit with no commercials. And that's another thing. When you ain't got to sit through the ad read, man, it makes you appreciate the show a lot more because you never lose your immersion, right? I wish advertisers understood that. Immersion is everything. I get it. You want to sell stuff during a show, but usually during those type of moments, people go to the refrigerator and stuff. They not just sitting in front of the couch the whole time. Whitney says, did you notice Gisela referenced a comment Ace made about her 16 years ago? Yep, and that was the reason why she refused to use the twist on him. She had the opportunity to save Ace, but she remembered what he said about her years past. That was savage as hell. I agree with that wholeheartedly, Whitney. And once again, Gisela is bringing that package through. You know what I'm saying? What can Brown do for you? You know what I'm saying? Jeez, blood. Jeez. Big T got screwed over. Oh, yeah, you talking about you last night. Oh, yeah, production. Yeah, they wanted CT to go ahead and make that happen, coach. I'm glad Johnny is back. We haven't seen her since Exes 2. Oh, yeah, Johnny, once again, it's good to see her back as well. She didn't really have much to say this episode. I feel like Ruthie didn't have much to say this episode. But it's kind of hard to fit in all 22 personalities in one episode. That's why I tried my best to just give credit to the people who really kind of steered this episode's narrative the hardest and made it entertaining. I feel like everybody, for the most part, uh, did a good job of really reminding people who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I ain't no punk type stuff. But yeah, so the team that ended up winning today, just so I document that, it was Gisela, Tech, Yes, Nehemiah, Big Easy, Darrell, Beth, Jimmy, Arissa, and it was someone else. I'm not sure who the last person was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was 2 people left. There was 2 other people on that team. For some reason, I could not get that count right. I tried my best to document who the other 2 was on the team, but that was pretty much the team that won that day. I'm thinking Ace was on that team because he was so mad about them throwing him under the bus. So maybe Ace was one of the players as well, and it was maybe one other person. Yeah, the episode's incredible. Enjoy that, Coach. Gisela was a super baddie. Everyone wanted her back in the day. I can see it, Coach. You know what I'm saying? I can see it. He didn't give up until Mark said that the selection process is fair. Mark is an Apex production pet. I can definitely see that from Mark. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they introduced him, Coach, they introduced him like he's CT. Like, this was CT before we knew who CT was. Like, the way he walked in, I mean, they giving this dude the Brock Lesnar edit. You know what I mean? Mark is not an Apex production pet. He's literally the executive producer for this. He's the reason we're having this season. Oh, wait a minute. So isn't that a contradiction, Whitney? Doesn't that make him a production pet because he bought the season? Oh, well, not bought it, but he produced the season. He invested in it happening. I feel like in a way you gotta let him make it far now. Like how you gonna invest in something and be like the third boot? That don't even make sense. He gonna be around. Shout outs to Jose Vasquez. He asked the question: Did you ever uh did you ever the show Endurance as a kid? Johnny was a contestant in that show at the age of 13. I'm not as sure. Did you ever see the show Endurance as a kid? Johnny was a contestant. No, I've never seen that. Yo, the medics were working overtime in that water. They were, though. Hey man, they were working harder than the actual cast, Coach. Let's keep it all the way funky in these streets. There was a handful of people that was really going out there getting them damn cubes up. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm going to be fair with you, man. Them cubes were pretty deep, and the type of torque you have to build up to pull them out of the ground, the way they had it set up. See, I was confused whether you had to unclamp it from like the chain or you had to like just like straight up brute force pull the chain up with it. Based off how it looked when Darrell took it out of the water, you had to unclamp it. So I think certain people had the wrong technique. They was just trying to brute force pull it out, and that was never going to work, especially under the water. You ain't got no centrifugal force, as they call it. You know what I'm saying? He is the Johnny Bananas of All Stars. Yeah, I do feel like they gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna plug, homie. None of these people are All Stars. Where is Wes, Johnny Bananas, and Derek? Well, Derek is there. Derek is there, Sarah, to let you know. Derek is there. But Johnny Bananas and Wes aren't. Derek actually did do enough in this episode to let people know he was there, but he's laying low right now because he knows at any moment he's a big threat as well. So at the end of the day, Derek played this episode flawlessly. And here's my question to y'all. Do y'all believe Anissa and Darrell have to have a preseason deal this season? It feels as if Beth was trying to tell us all that her, Nehemiah, and maybe Cyrus have a 3-person deal. Do you think that just based off the fact that Anissa and Darrell are coming into this game as clearly the 2 players who've played the most recently, I feel like they have to have some type of deal together. It would just be the wisest approach. And based off the preview, she was telling them, I've known you since I was 20 years old. I mean, to be fair with you, it looked like Anissa was trying to flirt with the guy a little bit. But Darrell, you know, he got too much willpower. He can't go. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, I definitely think that they're going to work strong together because they have to. They don't have a choice. You could be a production's pet and production at the same. Oh yeah, we've seen that with CT several times, King Cash. That's why I'm saying I think Mark. I think he could be both, Coach. You know what I'm saying? He's the double agent of this season. Hey, maybe after Nani did what she did, they was like, oh, you can't be an all-star with that dumbass move you made to not pick CT last week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe production knew, like, she's not all-star material because she picked Kyle. You know? I'm just saying. Cyrus has a preseason deal with Beth. They're really good friends in real life. Yeah, I think Nehemiah is built into that as well based off how things look. I definitely think so. And I think for Nehemiah and Cyrus's game, they probably view Alton as their biggest immediate threat. I don't know. Especially if Nehemiah appears to be close with Mark. Um, he probably is cool with Derek too, probably. Who knows? That's why I'm telling you, I think Nehemiah is a forbidden jitsu here. I really do, Coach. I think Gisela and Nehemiah came out of this episode looking like platinum. I'm not saying everybody else didn't come out looking like gold, because they all came out looking good, but I think those two came out the wash looking better than when you threw them in. Real talk. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this game plays out because, man, Gisela took a hell of a risk tonight. Let's talk about it. She didn't have to be captain. One could argue she volunteered to be captain because maybe she thought she was on the bottom and needed that to kind of work her way in to prove she's strong enough to be within that sub-alliance that may have been a pregame deal. You never know. Whenever someone takes that type of a risk on day one, I always believe that they feel like they aren't included already. Otherwise, why wouldn't they do it? Or otherwise, why wouldn't they let someone else do it? Isn't that why Anissa didn't do it today? So I look at it like that. I feel like Gisela may have worked her way into the majority alliance by being the captain who won the first challenge and by not going against the house by using her lifesaver. I think socially she did the opposite of what Arissa did this episode. And I think Gisela, her stock has gone immediately amazingly up. And I think Arissa has gone immediately way down. Absolutely. But ladies and gentlemen, these were just my thoughts on the premiere. I didn't want this rant to be that long, but I just wanted to set the table here. Now, the majority of these rants that I will be doing for Challenge All-Stars will be exclusively to Patreon. But I'm a dip here, dip there, in and out when I see fit, depending on how the crowd wants me to build this buzz. But outside of that, shout-outs to Paramount Plus, shout-outs to Viacom, shout-outs to MTV for coming through with a successful premiere. I always say when you can get the pilot right, usually the next episode's a lot easier to make good, and so on and so on. So I'm very excited for how this season is going to move along. I can't really give y'all power rankings too soon. That's why I just gave y'all the two players I thought look the best coming out of this episode so far, which in itself is an impromptu top 2 pick anyway. But outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this rant, and we will be double tapping later tonight for Big Brother Canada 9. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, and I'm going to see y'all later. So I appreciate y'all showing out for the kid. Please do not forget to like this video, comment underneath it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this, of course, with all of the fans of the Challenge All-Stars that you rock with. I'm Dave Smith with Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. Until next